Well, good body every evening. That doesn't sound right. What's going on, YouTubers? How the heck are you? This is Efren with Star Wars Continuum, and I just saw Rise of Skywalker, and oh my god, am I freaking blown away. Oh, good lord, that movie was an absolute masterpiece. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care about the naysayers. J.J. Abrams knocked it out of the park with that one. And I thought I'd do a no-spoiler review, but there's no way I can do a no-spoiler review of how epic this movie was. All I can say is the fan service was in the right place at the right time. It was full of fan service, but that's cool. A lot of very emotional. It's a very emotional roller coaster. Several very emotional scenes. Jonas Suotomo knows what I'm talking about. Of course, J.J. Abrams knows what we're all talking about with Leia. And Rose was exactly where she needed to be, when she needed to be there. Good job, Kelly. Or Miss Trans, excuse me. And it was full of great performances. Emotional roller coaster. We know, if you've seen it, you know what scenes I'm talking about. You know, Chewie, Jonas Suotomo knocked it out of the park. Mr. Mayhew would have been proud of that performance. We all know what scene we're talking about. And of course, the emotional thing with Leia. And of course, Billy D was just excellent as Lando. He said one time Lando never left him. Boy, that is the truth. He did an excellent job. Thank you, sir. You know, everyone seems to be all upset about Palpatine returned with no explanation. Well, I have an explanation. His body was kept alive, so when he wasn't in one of the clone bodies, his essence could go back into his original body, which is, it was falling apart, but it was being kept alive by that machine he was attached to. And of course, Snoke was a clone, and he inhabited Snoke, as we know. Now, it's been rumored that Palpatine, who supposedly died on the Death Star, was a clone. That wouldn't surprise me. If he had so many contingency plans in place, why not have a contingency plan for himself? Clones upon clones upon clones. And I also have an explanation of why Rey has these supposed new powers. I don't want to do air quotes. It's going to be air quotes. These supposed new powers. They're training with Leia. There's probably off-screen training with Luke to a degree. And it's bound to open up new powers, new, how do you say this? New paths through the Force. And she probably sees a situation and says, hey, this feels familiar. I can do whatever, Just have, she's that strong with the Force, and true balance in the Force comes within oneself, not in the try to control the Force or Sith or Jedi. It's in oneself. If you find balance there, and she did. She used the Force in anger, but she didn't use it in hatred. That's the difference. Anger will make you strong with the Force, and the crowd went crazy. I haven't heard anyone respond like that to a movie. Even what do you call it? Last Jedi and Force Awakens, people didn't react that way. But man, I was just on the edge of my seat the whole time. Quite literally, I had to pee so bad about halfway through, it was about ready to explode. But I did not leave the theater. And our theater has new comfy seats, and they're very, very comfortable, I'm glad of. The other ones are pretty comfortable too, but these are wow. And they recline farther, so... we saw a lot of familiar faces, and again, this is a spoiler one, so... Of course, Warwick Davis as... Wicket at the end, a small part. Wedge, small part. I was hoping he'd have more of a part, but hey, he was there. Of course, Lando, that was a good part. They said he didn't have much to do. Why, he wasn't really a background character. He was there as much as he needed to be. Rose is exactly where she needed to be, as much as she needed to be. Good job, Kelly, and Miss Trans, excuse me. And good job, Mr. Williams. And of course, Luke. It's always a fan favorite. And there was a lot of nods to Return of the Jedi, like Luke lifting his X-Wing out of the water for her. Like he tried to do with the X-Wing, and Yoda had to do it to show him that nothing's impossible. That's why he got the big smile on his face. He was smiling to Yoda. And of course, the cameo voices at the end. Hayden Christensen, Liam Neeson, Ahsoka Tano. I'm not sure about that one. Is that foretelling her she's going to die at some point in a book or a comic or something, or maybe the upcoming Clone Wars conclusion? I don't know. And who else was there? I don't remember. On the guy from Lord of the Rings. He played oh god, Perry? No, or Mary? No, not Mary. The other guy. What about Second Breakfast? He was in there too. That was cool. Yeah, but it was fast paced. There was a lot. I didn't see really any unanswered questions per se. If I see it a few more times, I may pick up on something, but there wasn't anything left not answered except why Palpatine returned. I have a theory about that. He never went anywhere. That machine he was hanging from was keeping his body alive. So when he wasn't in one of the clones that he made, his essence went back into that body, and it was crumbling. If you looked at it, he was slow. So, body can only be kept alive so long in such good shape. But, and of course, there was a couple of Snoke clones floating in something there. And of course, they said, he broadcast his voice saying the final order was rising. Well, he was just waiting for that. And they did mention the dyad. That's one thing I was, Rey took Skywalker name, but I don't think she's taking it as a family name per se. I think it's going to be a description because she can walk on the sky. She's a Skywalker. Not necessarily taking the family name because she's technically a Palpatine, but family means nothing as far as the Force goes. And I noticed that a lot of the supposed leaks, there goes air quotes, supposed leaks were true. And of course, like I said, the people were freaking out in the theater. I haven't heard that kind of participation since not even Force Awakens or Last Jedi had that kind of a response. I was surprised, but I'm glad people are cheering and whooping it up. And of course, there's one scene, and everyone went, "Oh, come on!" when Ben died. Oh, people went absolutely mad when Ben kissed Rey. Then he dies. Like, "Oh, come on!" Thought that was funny. I think I was one of the few that recognized Wedge. Like, yeah! Oh, he's gone. I don't know. I think he was there in the background when they were celebrating, but yeah, he was there in the end. Finally, I'm not sure how many of you know this, but he's Ewan McGregor's uncle, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I know you will. But yeah, it was a fast-paced movie. There's a lot of this to this to this to this, but it needed to be. Things are happening in this, bringing everything to a head. Like Palpatine said, "I'm all the Sith," and Rey said, "I'm all the Jedi." And of course, Luke says, 1,000 years of Jedi live in you now. So she's the new start of the new order, whatever it's going to be called. It might be called Skywalkers. Because she can walk on the sky. It's not her family name. Of course, they did a lot of fan service by going back to Tatooine, and she used the Force to bury the two lightsabers. Since she had one of her own with the yellow blade, and what else can I say? Watch the movie. It was on the edge of my seat the whole time. It was excellent. Oh my God, I've never had that kind of emotional roller coaster watching a movie in my life. And yes, I did get emotional a couple of scenes. Leia's death, of course, and Chewie taking it as hard as he did. I mean, Yoda Suotoma did a great job with that. Of course, Lando. Billy D said that Lando never left him. Boy, is he right. Yeah, good job, Mr. Williams. Good job, Mr. Suotoma. You guys did great. And Kelly Marie Tran did good. Great, rather. And the brilliant use of the space horses. That was good. And people say, "Oh, what are they doing running on a Star Destroyer?" Well, we now know. They were transported there. Because if they used speeders, they'd have been blown off the thing. They couldn't track or disable the speeders because they're riding the horses, or space horses, whatever you call them. So good job, JJ. That was your idea, dude. Oh, and of course, Babu Freak was hysterical. Oh God, that was that was a cool little character. And 3PO had a lot of really great lines in this one. I was laughing my butt off the whole time. But now this is what a Star Wars movie should be. This is absolutely mind blowing. I don't care what the naysayers say. They can say nay or naysay or whatever they want to do. I loved it. One of the supposed leaks was wrong. Rey didn't kill Kylo and then revive him. She stabbed him through the chest and then she healed him, but he didn't die though. And of course, they all heard Leia say Ben, and caught him off guard, and apparently Finn is Force sensitive. Spoiler alert. I'll put a thing at the beginning of this video saying spoilers. No, and people were speculating that he was Force sensitive. I guess that proves it. Oh, and of course, Dio. I love Dio. I didn't know idea he had a voice like that. Yeah, he actually spoke English or whatever you want to call it, in basic language. And of course, I had to get a Dio cup. I saw the cup toppers had to get a Dio. And I was not going to get the popcorn bucket. It was $15. Forget it. And I found this at Walmart, just outside from the movie. So I went into Walmart a second ago. I found Dio, and it's got a cool pin, an enamel pin, and this is just a little plush with like pebbles in its butt to hold it upright. Could put it next to BB-8 on my bed there. Don't judge me. Oh, and I got a Happy Meal. Oops, that's not it. Where'd it go? Where are ya? Oh, there it is. I decided to get a Star Wars Happy Meal because why not? And I got Chewie. That's cool. Anyway, there's a little aside from my review. I think. I'm trying to go through the movie in my head. It's a lot to go through. I have to see it a few more times. There's a lot to take in. Of course, Rey used lightning through her fingers, and it scared her. You know, use your anger, but don't use your hatred. That's what I'm kind of taking away from. Anger is okay, but hatred is not. You know, anger will help you channel more of the Force. It's like the emotional build up and release will help, like that, but it doesn't necessarily mean you're a Sith. Because Luke used anger to defeat Vader, but he didn't go to the dark side. He didn't use hatred, he used anger. Going back to Rey's abilities, I think I've said this already, if not, I'll say it again. Her training would bring out more theory on Force usage, and and she can pick up on there, like she can pick up on someone's hurt. And and kind of theoretically know what to do. That was probably, who knows if that's what Leia trained, taught her. Maybe Luke taught her that, the healing way, or using the Jedi mind trick in Force Awakens. Maybe she just knew it. I mean, she's a Palpatine. She's the new chosen one, supposedly. So it's possible, just common sense that, well, this. She could feel something and say, this common sense says this should work. If you're powerful enough in something, she'll be able to figure that out, right? Right. So it can go unsaid. Not a big deal. People take a big exception to that. You know what? Get over it. Of course, the CGI was spot on. The little kids on, oh God, what planet was that where the big celebration was going on? They were watching like a puppet show or something, and one of them gave Rey the necklace. Of course, the Knights of Ren weren't in it all that much, but we do know they were working for the Emperor. Which is why Snoke said, you are the master of the Knights of Ren. Well, little did Kylo know that Snoke was actually a puppet of the Emperor's. It was a clone. The Emperor was possessing him. Which the Emperor might have been a clone in Return of the Jedi, too. Who knows? That kind of goes without saying, since there were Snoke clones floating in Palpatine's place there, so he was growing more clones for whatever reason. And now I didn't see anything left out that you go, huh? There's a lot to cover and get squeezed into a 2 hour and 35-minute movie, and JJ did an excellent job of it. I'm just touching on different points. Of course, the opening scene where Kylo was slaughtering the locals to get the Wayfinder, and of course, poor BB-8 got injured. Now everyone went, aww. And Rey really didn't get along with Poe. You can tell at the end when the three of them were embracing it, like the end of the movies, the end of the saga, all that. Those are real emotions. They weren't acting. All in all, a very, very solid movie. And I'm proud of J.J. Abrams for pulling it off. Yeah, even though a lot of the leaks were real. I watched a lot of spoiler reviews too before I saw it, but it took nothing away from the movie, believe me. I don't know why people say Rey's a Mary Sue. They don't see the whole picture about how the Force works, of how strong someone can be and pick up things. A common sense, being strong in the Force as she was, and being a walker of the skies, aka Skywalker. So all in all, a solid, fast-paced, well put together movie. I'm proud of J.J. Abrams pulling it off. Everything he had to pull off, he pulled off. And of course, Wedge, if I hadn't mentioned that, he's in it briefly, but you know what? That's cool. So that's about it. I'm just touching on some different points of the movie. I can do a more detailed review later when I see it a few more times. But appreciate you tuning in. Thumbs up if you liked it. Thumbs down if you didn't. Remember, I accept all constructive criticism, but I don't acknowledge trolls unless you're a helpful troll. And check out my other channels down below. Hopefully, COPPA won't put me. Well, I'm not even monetized yet, so I don't think they'll give a crap about me. But I want to keep pushing, no matter what COPPA says or whatever. My channels are not for kids. Well, Star Wars might be. I don't know. I'll deal with that burnt bridge when I get to it. Anyway, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Remember, subscribe and like and share this video. It helps me a lot. And check out my other channels down and all my other socials down in the description. Talk to you guys in the next one, and may the Force be with you.